Now stand by for a segment of the BBC's The Beatles Story.
It's not as bad as it seems, you know. Like, we're all having a good time individually.
The Beatles music might have died in 1970, but for them personally it wasn't too sad an occasion. The four ex-members of the group grew in reputation during 1971, and their own music was born. We'll find out about this and hear more of their solo albums in the John, Paul, George and Ringo show next time.
Isn't only about Paul, it is a song in its own right anyway, you know? And
you do say you're now living with what?
You live with straights and all that. Okay, so
everyone went, oh, well, how could he make the quarrel so public, you know?
Oh, hell's bells. Well, I mean, listen to Ram, folks. The lyrics weren't printed, just listen to it. I'm answering Ram. When I heard Ram, I immediately sat down and, if that was your first mistake to do, you took your lucky break and broke it. Whose lucky break? We believe that we can't be wrong. Well, I believe he could possibly be wrong. And so my song was an answer to Ram. As simple as that. It was also a moment's anger, but it was written down on paper and I sang it. Of course, I wasn't quite as angry when I sang it in the studio because it was about 4 weeks later. We were all writing it, you know. I mean, it was just like a joke, you know. I said, oh, let's write this now, like that, you know. So, I mean, we didn't take it that seriously.
John and David Wigg. Track on this LP was particularly outstanding.
Imagine there's no heaven.
Paul and Linda held a launching party in the Lyceum Ballroom, London, to introduce their group Wings and the LP Wings Wildlife.
With the Beatles, we stopped playing live for a while and went right into recording and did a lot of that. But I've recently decided that I miss just playing just to people.
Which track on the Wings album do you think is the best example of what we can expect from Wings?
Mambo is just the raw truth, you know. That was just us. I just said, here, it goes C to F, you know, or F to B flat, whatever it was. And I said, okay, 1, 2, 3, and everyone just had to dive in, you know. And that take on the album is the first take.
Was making the occasional appearance on television, as well as completing Blind Man. George was editing the film and tapes from the Bangladesh concert, while Paul and Linda were preparing to take Wings on the road to meet the people. The John, Paul, George and Ringo show is in full swing, and in the next program, we'll take an up-to-date look at the 4 individual careers of those people who originally started the Beatles Story.
The Beatles Story, part of our Christmas gift to you. The Beatles Story, 13 hours of rock, following the Beatles from the beginning to the end. The Beatles Story from WLS and the Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Chicago.
From the BBC in London, this is Brian Matthew presenting the ex-Beatles Story. Turning first to George, whose major achievement must be the results of the concert for Bangladesh.
Thank you. I'd just like to say before we start off with the concert that to thank you all for coming here. And as you all know, it's a special benefit concert. We've got a good show lined up.
Once you get into planning like a tour, or we're going to do this, we're going to do that, I lose the, loses the appeal. Like, I don't really want to go back into doing what we did all those years on the road, and hotels and bad food and traveling and all that noise and aggravation. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing selective concerts now and then. And, I mean, I miss playing. Yeah. Because, that's a problem. It's nice to feel that you're singing a few songs and people are there enjoying it.
And recently, in June, George Harrison, Ravi Shankar and Alan Klein were presented with the Child is the Father of the Man award by UNICEF because of the results of the Bangladesh concert. Has recently taken on a different aspect. His film Blind Man ran into trouble with the British film censors, and so he's become more involved as a director of Apple Films and the production side of filming. At the Cannes Film Festival in May, he talked to Sonia Beasley.
It started out where I was trying to get all the old sort of faith healers, country healers in Britain. I wanted to document them because I think they're dying out and there'll be no more, with, the cure warts on cows or wherever, All the old farmers who can really cure things and they whisper to horses and things like that, it's dying out. That race is just disappearing. And I got some people together and we went out to try and find out about it, but they wouldn't be filmed because they said it was bad for the powers. It would take the power away from them. So that fell through. Then I thought, okay, well, we'll try some films and documentaries.
And now you've got the taste. You're going to go on making films.
Well, this year I'm forcing myself to go into the office every day.
Just joshing.
Ringo is also continuing to appear before the cameras as well, with a science fiction film planned, and another, a horror movie, including the versatile talents of Harry Nilsson. They're quite about a very big hit record this year.
There we go. Back Off Boogaloo by your friend of mine, Ringo.
Since the split, has tended to be the loner, living up in Scotland with his wife Linda and their family, and getting his band Wings together. In February '72, the group released its first single, Give Ireland Back to the Irish, which rather predictably ran into censor problems. The band continued to work, though, to a mixed reception from the music critics, but to be fair, it was playing itself in, and later on came up with another single, Mary Had a Little Lamb. Paul was also criticised over the naivety of this number. Some said that it was a cop-out after he'd had his political statement in song challenged by the broadcasting authorities.
It isn't. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's just one of my daughters is called Mary, and I just happened to be singing a song, and because her name came in it, she perks up her ears, So I happened to write a song like that, that she sings on it. Yeah.
The preceding was a concluding installment of The Beatles Story, produced in 1972 by the BBC, recorded in December of 1972.